Some teenagers worry about exam grades and dating drama. Maya Rodriguez worried about medication schedules and physical therapy routines. At 19, she had made a choice that would define her entire young adulthood. When her father suffered a stroke that left him completely paralyzed, she quietly dropped out of her dream college to become his full-time caregiver. No one knew, not her friends, not her classmates, not even her extended family. She had become invisible to her own generation, pouring all her youth and energy into keeping her father alive and dignified. And what Ellen discovered about this secret sacrifice would remind everyone what unconditional love really looks like. The studio was warm with anticipation as Ellen finished her opening dance to Hero by Mariah Carey, the song choice seeming almost deliberate given what was about to unfold. The audience was still moved by Ellen's monologue about everyday heroes who go unrecognized, and the soft California afternoon light streaming through the windows promised that this would be one of those episodes that challenged assumptions about sacrifice and strength. Maya Rodriguez sat in the green room, nervously checking her phone for the third time in 5 minutes, not for social media notifications like most 19-year-olds, but to make sure the home nurse she had hired for the afternoon was managing her father's care properly. She had the kind of mature beauty that came from responsibilities far beyond her years. Dark eyes that held wisdom and worry in equal measure, long black hair that she kept in a practical ponytail, and hands that moved with the precise confidence of someone who had learned to operate medical equipment. Maya had never imagined she would be sitting backstage at the Ellen DeGeneres show. 3 weeks earlier, her high school counselor, Mrs. Patterson, had secretly submitted Maya's story to the show's Hidden Heroes segment. Maya had been mortified when she found out, insisting that she wasn't doing anything special, just taking care of family the way anyone would. What she didn't understand was that anyone her age would typically be pledging sororities, not monitoring oxygen levels. What Maya also didn't know was that Mrs. Patterson had been quietly documenting Maya's invisible life for months, gathering evidence of a sacrifice so profound and so selfless that it had moved the show's producers to tears. They had never encountered someone so young carrying such an enormous burden with such grace and such secrecy. "Maya Rodriguez, you're ready in 5 minutes," a production assistant announced. Maya took a deep breath, touched the small silver cross her father had given her for her quinceañera, and followed the assistant toward the stage. As she walked through the corridors lined with photos of Ellen's most inspiring guests, she wondered if her father was watching from home, if the nurse remembered to give him his afternoon medication, and whether she should have postponed this appearance until next week. Ellen's introduction was warm and respectful. "My next guest is a 19-year-old who has been nominated as one of our hidden heroes. According to the person who wrote to us, she has been quietly performing miracles of love and sacrifice, but she's been doing it so privately that even her closest friends don't know the full extent of her story. Please welcome Maya Rodriguez." The audience applauded as Maya walked onto the stage, her nervous energy evident, but her dignity intact. Ellen greeted her with her signature hug and immediately sensed the unusual combination of youthful appearance and old soul wisdom radiating from this young woman. "Maya, thank you for being here," Ellen said as they settled onto the familiar white couch. "I understand you're 19 years old. Tell me what a typical day looks like for you." Maya's smile was gentle but guarded. "Well, I wake up around 6 a.m. to prepare breakfast and morning medications. Then I help with physical therapy exercises, handle some medical appointments if needed, prepare lunch, manage afternoon care routines, make dinner, and handle evening medications before bed." Ellen paused, clearly struck by the clinical nature of Maya's daily routine. "Maya, that sounds like the schedule of a professional caregiver, not a typical college student. Can you tell me more about what's going on?" Maya looked down at her hands, clearly uncomfortable with the attention. My father had a stroke 2 years ago. It left him completely paralyzed and he needs full-time care. I take care of him." The studio had grown noticeably quieter as the audience began to understand the weight of what Maya was describing. "Maya, you're 19 years old," Ellen said gently. "Where are the other family members?" "Where's your mother?" "My mother passed away when I was 12, Maya said simply. "It's just me and my dad." "We've always been a team, and now he needs me more than ever." Ellen felt her heart breaking for this young woman. "Maya, what about college? What about your friends? What about being 19? Maya's smile was sad but resolute. "I was accepted to UCLA with a full scholarship. I was going to study pre-med. But when Dad got sick, priorities changed. College will always be there, but my father needs me now." Ellen was struggling to maintain her composure. "Maya, you gave up a full scholarship to UCLA to take care of your father." "It wasn't really a choice," Maya said quietly. "He spent 18 years taking care of me, working double shifts, sacrificing everything for my future. Now, it's my turn to take care of him." The audience was completely silent now, clearly moved by Maya's matter-of-fact description of such an enormous sacrifice. "Maya, do your friends know about this? Do people your age understand what you're doing?" Maya looked embarrassed. "Not really. I don't talk about it much. People my age have their own lives, their own problems. I don't want to burden them with mine." Ellen leaned forward with compassion. "Maya, you're not burdening anyone. What you're doing is extraordinary. How do you manage everything? The medical care, the emotional support, the physical demands?" "You just learn," Maya said with a small shrug. "YouTube has a lot of tutorials for medical equipment. The nurses at the hospital taught me physical therapy techniques. You figure it out because you have to." Ellen was amazed by Maya's resilience. "Maya, can you tell me about your father? What was he like before the stroke?" Maya's face lit up for the first time since the interview began. "Oh, he's amazing. He came to this country from Mexico with nothing, worked as a janitor to put himself through night school, learned English by watching TV and asking me to correct his pronunciation. He used to say that his job was to make sure I had opportunities he never had." Ellen's eyes were already glistening. "And now you're making sure he has the care and dignity he deserves." "He's still the same person," Maya said firmly. "The stroke took his mobility, but it didn't take his mind, his humor, or his love. He's still my dad, and he's still the strongest person I know." Ellen looked toward her producers in the booth, knowing that what happened next would either be the most beautiful tribute or would require the most delicate handling. "Maya," Ellen said carefully, "we've been doing some research into your story, and we discovered some things that I think will surprise you." Maya looked nervous. "What kind of things?" "We found out that your friends and classmates had no idea what you've been doing for the past 2 years. They thought you had simply chosen to stay local for college." Maya nodded. "I didn't want them to feel sorry for me or think I was trying to get attention." Ellen reached for a folder on her desk. "Maya, we also discovered that you've been maintaining a social media presence that doesn't reflect your reality at all." Maya's face flushed with embarrassment as Ellen showed screenshots of Instagram posts. Maya at coffee shops during brief errands, Maya smiling in what appeared to be carefree moments, Maya with friends during the rare occasions she could meet them for an hour or two. "These posts make it look like you're living a typical college life," Ellen observed. "Why did you feel the need to maintain this facade?" "Because I didn't want people to worry about me," Maya said quietly, "and because sometimes I needed to pretend, even just for a few minutes, that I was still the person I was before everything changed." Ellen's heart was breaking for this young woman who had been carrying such an enormous burden alone. "Maya, there's something else we discovered," Ellen continued. "We contacted your high school, and they told us that you were valedictorian, student body president, and had been accepted to multiple prestigious universities with full scholarships." Maya was clearly uncomfortable with the praise. "School was always important to my dad. He made sure I understood that education was the key to a better life." "And you walked away from all of that to take care of him," Ellen said, her voice thick with emotion. "I didn't walk away from anything," Maya corrected gently. "I just delayed it. Dad always told me that family comes first, and now I understand what that really means." Ellen looked toward the stage entrance, knowing what was coming next would either be overwhelming or healing for Maya. "Maya, there are some people who want to meet you," Ellen announced. Maya looked confused as several of her high school friends walked onto the stage, followed by her former teachers, and finally by Dr. Patricia Hernandez, the physician who had been treating her father. Maya's hands flew to her mouth as she recognized them all. "What are you all doing here?" she asked, standing up quickly. Her best friend Sophia approached first, tears already streaming down her face. "Maya, we had no idea. We thought you were just busy with college. We didn't know you were doing all of this alone." Her former English teacher, Mr. Chen, stepped forward. "Maya, I've been teaching for 20 years, and I've never seen a student demonstrate such character and maturity. What you've done is extraordinary." Dr. Hernandez moved closer with a warm smile. "Maya, in 30 years of medicine, I've rarely seen such dedicated care. Your father's recovery and quality of life are directly due to your incredible commitment." Maya was overwhelmed, tears streaming down her face as she was surrounded by people who had suddenly understood the scope of her sacrifice. Ellen waited for the emotional greetings to settle before addressing the group. "I want everyone to tell Maya what they think of what she's been doing." Sophia spoke first. "Maya, I feel terrible that we didn't know. You've been carrying this alone while we complained about homework and relationship drama. You're the strongest person I know." Mr. Chen nodded enthusiastically. "Maya has always been exceptional, but this level of selflessness and maturity is beyond anything I could have imagined. She's redefining what it means to be an adult." Dr. Hernandez's voice was thick with emotion. "Maya, your father is one of my most stable patients, and it's entirely because of your care. You've provided better support than most professional facilities." Ellen was crying openly now. "Maya, do you understand what you've accomplished? You've single-handedly provided medical care, emotional support, and dignity to your father while maintaining your own emotional health and academic excellence." "He's my dad," Maya said simply. "This is what you do for family." But Ellen wasn't finished with her surprises. "Maya, Dr. Hernandez has something to tell you." Dr. Hernandez smiled through her tears. "Maya, your father has been making remarkable progress, partly due to your incredible care. We believe that with continued therapy and support, he may regain some mobility and independence." Maya's face transformed with hope. "Really? He might get better?" "With the right resources and continued dedication like yours, yes," Dr. Hernandez confirmed. Ellen reached into her desk and pulled out several envelopes. "Maya, here's what we're going to do. First, I'm reinstating your full scholarship to UCLA, and I'm arranging for flexible scheduling so you can continue your pre-med studies while caring for your father." Maya stared at Ellen in disbelief. "I can't accept that. Who will take care of Dad?" "That's the second part," Ellen continued. "I'm providing funding for a professional caregiver to assist with your father's daily care so you can focus on your education while still being his primary support system." The audience erupted in applause as Maya covered her face with her hands, overwhelmed by the generosity. "But there's more," Ellen said. I'm also providing funding for your father's physical therapy and any medical equipment he needs for his recovery." Maya was sobbing now, unable to speak through her gratitude. Ellen wasn't finished. "And finally, I'm establishing the Maya Rodriguez Scholarship Fund for young caregivers who are sacrificing their education to care for family members." Maya looked around at all the people surrounding her, her friends who now understood her sacrifice, her teachers who had always believed in her potential, and Ellen who was giving her the chance to honor her father while pursuing her dreams. "I don't know what to say," Maya whispered. "Say you'll accept the help," Ellen replied. "Say you'll let people support you the way you've been supporting your father." "Yes," Maya said through her tears. "Yes, absolutely yes." 6 months later, Ellen visited Maya at UCLA, where she was thriving in her pre-med program while maintaining her role as her father's primary caregiver. Miguel Rodriguez had indeed regained some mobility and was able to participate more actively in his own care, but Maya remained his devoted daughter and advocate. The professional caregiver had become like family, allowing Maya to attend classes and study while knowing her father was in excellent hands. Maya's social media had also changed. Instead of hiding her reality, she began sharing her caregiving journey, inspiring other young people facing similar situations. "Any regrets about the years you spent caring for your father alone?" Ellen asked as they sat in Maya's dorm room, which she had decorated with photos of her father's progress. Maya smiled, looking at a recent photo of her father taking his first assisted steps since the stroke. "None at all. Those years taught me what strength really means, what love really looks like, and what I'm capable of when someone I love needs me." "And your father?" "He tells everyone that his daughter is going to be a doctor," Maya said with pride. "And he's right. I'm going to specialize in rehabilitation medicine, helping families like ours navigate these challenges. Because sometimes the most profound acts of heroism happen in private, performed by people who never think of themselves as heroes. Sometimes strength isn't measured in years lived, but in years given. And sometimes the greatest education doesn't happen in classrooms. It happens in hospital rooms where love teaches lessons that no textbook could ever contain.